Have you ever noticed something strange? Two men walk into the same room. One of them tries really hard to impress everyone. He talks a lot. He tries to be funny. He tries to look confident. But somehow, he becomes invisible. And then there's the other guy. He's calm. He's relaxed. He's not trying to impress anyone. And yet, somehow, every woman in the room notices him. She looks at him longer. She becomes curious. She wonders who he is. And the strange part? He didn't even do anything obvious. So what's happening here? Why do some men trigger instant attraction, while others struggle to even get attention? Tonight, I'm going to show you the instant attraction trick most men never understand. And once you see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. Before we dive deeper, a quick message. If you've been learning from my videos and you want to support this work, you can subscribe to me on Facebook with a paid membership, send stars, or join my YouTube channel's paid community. Your support helps me create more powerful content for you, and I truly appreciate every bit of it. All right, now let's continue. Here's something important. Attraction rarely begins with what you say. It begins with what she feels around you. And most men completely ignore this. They focus on pickup lines. They focus on texting strategies. They focus on trying to impress. But attraction actually begins before you even speak. Let me explain. Imagine you meet a man who is constantly trying to prove himself. He laughs too loudly. He talks too fast. He agrees with everything you say. At first, it might seem nice. But very quickly, something strange happens. You stop feeling curious about him, because he has already given everything away. But then there's another man. He listens more than he talks. He smiles slowly. He doesn't rush to impress you. And suddenly, something interesting happens. Your brain starts asking questions. Who is he? Why is he so calm? Why does he seem so comfortable in his own skin? And that curiosity, that's the beginning of attraction. Now here's the part most men miss. Attraction isn't created by chasing attention. It's created by not needing it. Think about it. When someone is desperate for approval, we feel it instantly. But when someone is relaxed and confident, we feel that too. And confidence creates emotional safety. But here's the mini secret most men don't realize. Women are not only attracted to confidence, they are attracted to controlled mystery. Not cold silence. Not arrogance, but mystery. And mystery happens when you don't reveal everything immediately. Let's go deeper. Have you ever noticed how the most intriguing people in life are rarely the loudest ones? They are the ones who speak slowly, who observe more, who seem like they're comfortable with silence. And this triggers something very interesting in the human brain: curiosity. And curiosity is one of the strongest psychological forces in attraction. Because when someone becomes curious about you, they begin investing emotional energy. They start thinking about you. They start wondering about you. And that emotional investment slowly grows into attraction. But there's another layer to this, and this is where most men make their biggest mistake. They try to entertain women, instead of creating emotional tension. Let me explain the difference. Entertaining someone means constantly trying to make them laugh, impress them, or prove your value. But emotional tension is different. It's the subtle push and pull of attention. Sometimes you're engaged. Sometimes you're quiet. Sometimes you smile, and then look away. This creates unpredictability, and the human brain is addicted to unpredictability. That's why movies are exciting. That's why suspense keeps us watching. And that's why certain men feel magnetic. Because they are not completely predictable. Now here's another psychological trigger that creates instant attraction: presence. Not physical presence, but mental presence. When you talk to someone and they feel like you're truly listening, it creates a powerful emotional connection. But when someone is distracted, nervous, or trying too hard, the connection disappears. Women notice emotional presence very quickly. It's subtle, but it's powerful. And the interesting thing is, presence comes from one simple mindset. You're not trying to get anything from the interaction. You're simply enjoying the moment. Now here's something that might surprise you. The strongest attraction trigger is not confidence. It's emotional control. A man who doesn't get easily reactive. A man who doesn't get easily jealous. A man who doesn't lose composure when things don't go his way. That kind of emotional stability feels rare. And rare things are always more valuable. But there's another psychological trick happening here. And this one is extremely powerful. Scarcity. If someone always gives attention freely, it becomes normal. But if someone's attention feels selective, it becomes valuable. This doesn't mean ignoring women. It means your attention feels intentional, not desperate, not constant, but earned. Now imagine two scenarios. In the first scenario, a man instantly compliments everything about a woman: her smile, her dress, her eyes. At first, it might feel flattering, but quickly it feels predictable. Now imagine another scenario. A man looks at her, smiles slightly, and says nothing for a moment. Then he says something simple like, "You seem interesting." That's it. Suddenly the conversation feels different because curiosity has been triggered, and curiosity leads to attraction. Now here's another layer most men ignore: body language. Attraction often happens without words. The way you stand, the way you make eye contact, the way you move slowly instead of nervously. Fast movements signal anxiety. Slow movements signal confidence. And confidence always attracts attention. But let's go even deeper now. Because there's a layer underneath all of this that most people never talk about. And it might be the most important layer of all. It's called inner approval. Most men walk into a room seeking something. They want to be liked. They want to be seen. They want to feel worthy. And women pick up on this instantly. Not because they're cruel, but because humans are highly sensitive to emotional signals. We have been wired for thousands of years to read other people's internal states. And when a man is silently asking the room for permission to feel good about himself, that energy leaks out. It shows in his posture. It shows in his eye contact. It shows in the slight tension in his voice. But when a man has already given himself that approval, when he walks in not needing anything from anyone, that energy leaks out too. And it feels completely different. It feels like solidity, like someone who has already arrived, not someone still trying to get there. And that solidity is deeply attractive. Because most people in the world are still searching for approval outside themselves. So when they encounter someone who isn't, it feels rare. It feels interesting. It creates that pull. Now let's talk about something else: the way you speak. Most men think attraction is about what they say, the right words, the right joke, the right story. But it's not about the words, it's about the pace. When you slow down your speech, something interesting happens. The other person has to pay more attention. They lean in slightly, they focus more. Because a slow, measured voice signals that you believe your words are worth waiting for. And that belief, they absorb it. Contrast this with someone who speaks quickly, nervously, filling every silence. Fast talking signals fear. It signals that you're worried she'll lose interest. And ironically, that worry is exactly what causes her to lose interest. Silence is underrated. Most men are terrified of silence in a conversation. They rush to fill it. They make a joke. They say something unnecessary. But a comfortable silence is one of the most powerful signals you can send. It says, "I'm not anxious here. I don't need noise to feel okay. I'm at peace in this moment." And that peace is contagious. She starts to feel it too, and she begins to associate that calm feeling with you. That association builds attraction. Now, here's another truth that goes against almost everything men are taught. Stop trying to make her like you. Instead, become genuinely curious about her. Ask a question and actually listen to the answer. Not to form the next clever thing to say, but to actually understand who she is. When someone feels truly heard, it creates a connection unlike anything else. Because being genuinely heard is rare. Most people in conversation are just waiting for their turn to talk. But when you actually listen, when you remember something small she said and bring it back later, when you ask a follow-up question that shows you were paying attention, she notices. And that noticing slowly turns into feeling. Now let's talk about something counterintuitive: Vulnerability. Not weakness, not oversharing, but quiet, controlled vulnerability. A man who can admit he doesn't know something. A man who can say, "That actually matters to me," without being ashamed. A man who doesn't have to pretend to be invincible. This is not weakness. This is a deeply rare form of strength. Because pretending to be perfect is exhausting, and it creates distance. But a small, honest moment of real humanity, that creates closeness. And closeness is the foundation of deep attraction. Now there's one more thing I want to share with you, and this might be the most overlooked piece of all: your own life. The most magnetic men are not the ones focused on women. They're the ones focused on building something, a skill, a mission, a vision for their life. When a man has direction, when he wakes up with purpose, when his days are filled with things that genuinely interest and challenge him, he develops a kind of energy that is impossible to manufacture. It's the energy of someone who is going somewhere, and people want to be around someone going somewhere. People want to be part of that story. So if you want to become naturally attractive, start by becoming someone you genuinely respect. Work on something difficult. Push your limits. Build discipline. Develop depth. Read. Learn. Grow. Not to impress anyone, but because a full life makes you a full person. And full people are magnetic. They have things to share. They have stories that came from real experience. They have calm that came from overcoming real challenges. And that depth, she will feel it. Without you having to explain it, without you having to perform it. She'll just feel it, and she'll want to get closer. So here's the final secret. The instant attraction trick is not a technique. It's a state of mind. When a man genuinely enjoys his life, when he's not chasing validation, when he's calm, curious, and emotionally grounded, he becomes naturally intriguing. Because most people in the world are trying to impress others, but the rare ones, the magnetic ones, they are simply comfortable being themselves. And that energy is impossible to fake for long. But when it's real, people feel it instantly. And that's when attraction happens. Not forced, not manipulated, but naturally. So the next time you walk into a room, don't focus on impressing everyone. Focus on being calm, present, and slightly mysterious. Build a life worth living. Speak slowly. Listen deeply. And let silence work for you. Because sometimes the most powerful move is saying less and letting curiosity do the rest. If you enjoyed this video and want more insights about female psychology, attraction dynamics, and human behavior, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to understand even deeper truths about attraction and relationships, check out the other videos on this channel. There's a lot more wisdom waiting for you there.